Okay, awesome, everybody. This is so cool. Welcome to this Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers. This is number 1, Get Started Right. We are Bess McCarty of the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers and also a Shrink of MLM, and Jeffrey David Gamble of My Leadership Network, also a John Maxwell Certified Coach, Trainer, Speaker. We partner to bring you these generic trainings, Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers, the 10 core commitments, every Sunday right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Our purpose is to help people grow, to educate, equip, and empower entrepreneurs and create independent servant leaders. We really want to raise the bar in this profession. So these 10 core basics for network marketers, I'm just going to read them to you. We're covering number 1 tonight, but all 10 of them are, number 1, get started right. Number 2, be here a year from now. Number 3, personal development. Number 4, market daily. Number 5, present daily. Number 6, attend a weekly presentation. Number 7, attend a weekly core training, which is what you're doing now. And number 8, attend a monthly regional. Number 9, attend all national conventions. Number 10, create a massive monthly action plan. So these include, as you could hear in that list, includes the 7 skills that Eric Worre teaches in his GoPro book that I've been loving to teach for years in the school, MLM Millionaire Club. And our training, of course, is generic. It's compatible with your company. It's for all levels, starting, moving, or stuck network marketers. If your focus is on customers, recruiting, or training, this is for you. This training will help you to build a team and lay a good, solid foundation and make the most. This is all the important stuff that you need to get going fast and get your team going fast, too. This is where you connect with people, interact, have fun. You can ask questions. We're going to have Q&A at the end. And we hope you have fun and get entertained, too. But most of all, helps you to stay on track, to learn the basics and to stay on track. We suggest that you keep attending all of the series until that you can lead them yourselves. So we have just completed round 1 of the 10 core basics. Some people have joined from the beginning, but some have joined in the middle. So don't worry, we're going to go through them again because we all get them deeper at a deeper level. I learn more every time we go through them, and so do all the old-time professionals on here too. So we're on round 2, and we give out certificates every time you've completed one of the rounds. There's 4 rounds in all, so we hope you stay in this class and active and attending for a year so that you can go through all the 10 core 4 times, and you get an award for each round that you do. We just gave out awards last time. You'll see them in the Facebook group, MLM Millionaire Club. The replays are on YouTube and includes closed captions for those who need it. So, oh, by the way, keep track. If you keep track, well, keep track of everything you do in your business, right? Your presentations and everything. But if you keep track of these classes that you attend, let us know when you've completed all of the first 10 core, and then if you've already done that and you're on the 2nd round, keep track of that. Let us know when you completed the 2nd, because there will be a certificate and award for that group too. Real quick, who am I for those people who are new? I was in network marketing in my 20s. I was so shy as a kid that I had to overcome that, and eventually went door to door in network marketing, became a speaker and trainer and on stage, now on Facebook Lives and all that. So I understand what it means to overcome fear, and I help people to do that. That's one of my specialties. That's why I'm called the Shrink of MLM. So network marketing helped me stay home with my son as a single mom, and I became a body-mind therapist and holistic health practitioner after my company went out of business, because I wanted to attend to my own personal growth, keep growing as a person, and help other people to do that too. So it's very handy that I can bring that back to network marketers now and identify where they get stuck and help them have breakthroughs very similar to Tony Robbins. I'm not in a network marketing company now because I'm solely dedicated to just teaching and coaching and helping as many network marketers as I can. Now Jeff, he's from Indianapolis. I'm from Kansas. We met online. Jeff has personally recruited over 500 people frontline in network marketing, built 2 teams to over 5,000 people, and his teams have produced over $10 million in sales. He's just an incredible person with the rich experience, including the current experience, so he compliments me that way, and our personalities complement too. So I met Jeff online about 4 years ago on Eric Worre's page, and we talked over time. I found that he has methods that are the best that I've seen anywhere in network marketing, even though I studied the top teachers all across the board, and I picked the best to bring to the school, and Jeff is it for me. His methods I just had to bring to you. So I asked him to be a speaker on the school, and then over time we're both going to be realizing that we're both going to be teaching and running the school. So that's what we do now. We encourage you to grab a pen and paper, turn the TV off, apps off, take care of the kids and the pets so you won't be disturbed for this real quality time, because you're going to want to catch all the flying beautiful information. Even one idea, though, can make you $1 million idea for your company. So pay good attention, give your quality attention. It will be worth it to you very much. And we'll have questions and answers at the end. So Jeff, where do we start from here?
Okay, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute out so that way sometimes Bess and I's recorders or our mics will pick up the other person. So I'll bring her back on, or you can wave at me if you need to jump back on right away. But what I want to do, guys, is I hope I can just come and tell the truth. And I hope that's what you actually came here to get. And sometimes the truth is stuff that, you know, you're not always super happy about right away. And what I started learning, sitting in meeting after meeting, is eventually part of the truth about how to build a successful business started coming out. And here's what I mean by the truth. There's a sale to get people in the business, right? We've all seen our presentations from our different companies, and I've actually looked at, I would say I've looked at over 100 network marketing companies' presentations. I've seen their PowerPoints, I've seen their videos, I've heard from their speakers, and there's certain things that are said inside of all presentations that basically are a sale to get people to join. You'll hear things like, you know, this business is very simple, it's easy. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You can do this business in 5 hours a year. I'm kidding about the 5 hours a year, but you do hear 5 hours a week, right? I mean, everybody's heard that 5 hours a week. And you know, you only need 2 people. You only need 3 people. You only need 4 people. You only need a handful of people to do this, and it take off. And they always bring up the story of the guy who, you know, was getting off of an airplane and tripped and fell to the tarmac and crawled inside, and while he was crawling inside, he ran into the EMT guy, and the EMT guy who was helping him put his face back on, you know, said, hey, what do you do for a living? And he handed him some information, and that guy got in, and he got rich, and all of a sudden now he owns a plane. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of joking, and I'm definitely exaggerating a little bit, but in some cases I'm not exaggerating at all, because I've heard these stories that I'm just like, wow, that seems way too good to be true. And when you first get in the business, your belief level is so high, but the other problem is your ignorance level is super high too. So you're like, okay, I guess that's how it works. And then you sit there for a while and you listen to these stories, and then you go out and you try the stuff that they're talking about, and you're like, do I have defective people that I know? Like, am I broken, or are the people I'm talking to broken, or am I breaking the system? Because I think I'm saying what I heard from all these other people, but it's not coming out the same. What's wrong here? And I spent a lot of years in the business doing this. I would go to a meeting, and what I'd do is I kept hearing different ways to go out and contact people. The way of the month. You know, I went to a regional event every single year for years and years and years, and every single year I heard, this is how to contact people. This is how to invite people. This is what to do. And every year I went out, and every month, I went out and I wrote that down, and then I went out and tried it. And, you know, and I got a little better each time I did it. But the problem was, is every month I was changing, I was growing a little bit, but I didn't ever master anything that was 100% this is what I'm doing. coming up with a plan. So I kind of tell you this. So if you've kind of come to a place where you're like, okay, I'm mad, I'm upset, eventually you go through this cycle. And I was told this when I first got in. You're going to go through this cycle. At first, the company's great, the people are great, the opportunity's great, the commission's great, the product's great, everything's great. And then eventually you get kind of close to some of these people and you're like, well, I mean, the product's okay, but, my shipment, the box was, it was broken, and the box was dented, and, my product label was off just a little bit. And I'm being, super sarcastic here just to kind of get a point, because you will go through this cycle, and then you'll start questioning, from there, you'll start questioning, well, the company said that they were going to do it, but they, it didn't come out the way, or it didn't come out the way you thought that they said it. And all of a sudden, that kind of, and then, you'll go from there to the product and this and the other thing. And eventually what you have to realize is that if people are succeeding in your company, everybody in your company, the people who are succeeding in direct sales and network marketing, all have a company, all have a product, and all have a comp plan. So if there are people succeeding in your company, because we know they're succeeding in the industry, if they're succeeding in your company and you guys have people who have made $100,000 and you have people who have made $250,000 and you have people who have made $500,000, in some cases we have people who have made $1 million in our companies. There are a few people who have made multi-million dollars in a single year. So if all of that has happened and you've got the same company, the same product, and the same environment, then the only common denominator difference is you and what you're doing and what your plan is. So what I did is, over time, in looking at these different regionals I went to and going on these different trainings, I started segmenting stuff out. I started taking pieces of what I was hearing, and I'm like, okay, in contacting, I've heard the following 150 things. In inviting, I've heard the following 150 things. In presenting, I've heard 150 things. And, I'm kind of exaggerating, but in some cases I've heard more than 150 different ways to do things. What I started doing is I said, okay, there's this huge smorgasbord of information, but what is the best way to do it? So what we'd like to give you tonight, and when I say, do you want the truth, what I like to do is give you my experience, so that way you don't fall in the same hole that I fell in over and over and over again. And that way you can completely avoid the street that the hole's on, is what our goal is, and jump your business ahead. So I'm going to hit this from two different angles. I'm going to hit this from, you need to start over. I think there's some of us probably here that need to start over, and I mean start over from scratch. It's a brand new day. It's about to be a brand new month. It's about to be fourth quarter. This is an amazing time to build your business. Now, I'll be real honest. This is the time when most people check out. Most people check out. Now, here's the thing. They check out in real estate. They check out in insurance. They check out in the mortgage business. They check out in direct sales. Most people check out, period. Why? Because when the holidays come, somewhere around October 31st, people start this downward spiral of, I'm busy. They're not doing anything else that they normally were doing. They're just busy. Why are they busy? Because the news and television and advertising, what does it say? Well, oh my gosh, there's this event, and there's something on TV, and there's something here, and there's something there. You're really not any more busy for a lot of us. It's just we appear and we're consumed by everything that's going on because there's a holiday party. People are like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff going on. I'm like, well, what do you have going on? And I'll get down and really question people. I said, well, what's on your schedule that's different, that's not on your schedule in September and October? And in general, it's like, well, I have to go to this Christmas party. So you're telling me the entire 3 months from October, November, December is completely busy because you have one party? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's sit down and talk about what you're really doing. Most of us, and I say most people out there, are not good. There's no way to manage time. You can't really manage time because you can't move time around. You can't be like, I want those 4 hours over here instead of over here. But what I found is you need to be better at prioritizing. It has nothing to do with managing. Everybody has the same time, and from what I know, we all operate basically on the same clock. Some of us during the 60s operated on a different clock. I understand that. And there was a period during the 90s I watched some people get into some stuff, and they operated on a different schedule. But the rest of us, the normal ones, we operate, and we all have 24 hours. But some people, this is what I've found between successful people and unsuccessful people, they prioritize their time different. And I can tell you guys that you're prioritizing your time different to be on a call like this or be on a video like this and get information about how to build something. So here's what Bess and I's responsibility is. Bess and I's responsibility is to cut through everything we can to give you the streamlined way to do this. So that way you get the best results. I want you guys to get results instantly. That's what I've been known to do, is I'll have a conversation with somebody, I'll find out who they are, what they've been going through, and I'll be like, I'm going to ask you to change one thing and try this. And yeah, there's other things that need changed, but this is the first thing that needs changed, and typically it has to do with contacting people. And once I change that, then all of a sudden they get results right away, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never gotten this kind of results before. I said, imagine if you did that in each one of the categories, from the contact to the invite to the present to the follow-up to the close. I said, imagine if we changed one thing in every area and every single department there improved. What would your business look like in 60 to 90 days? And here's the first question that I'm going to ask people before we get into exactly what to do, because I'm going to give you exactly what to do and exactly what I've done and exactly what I continue to do to build multiple businesses. So for those of you who don't know, we own a credit repair company, we own a real estate company, we own a holistic health company, and then on top of it, I do the coaching, and I'm helping Bess build, and then I was just asked a partnership with another person to build another coaching company that's how to coach coaches into getting into the business and develop leads. So that's a plethora of stuff. And I'm building multiple businesses, and the reason I'm able to build multiple businesses is here's the trick. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I need to start a couple more businesses to be successful. No, I figured it out in one. I had one income, one career income, and then I built one business, and that's all I focused on until I had that one business cranking out. And here's what I said to myself: until this business cranks out $10,000 a month, I'm not looking at anything else. I'm not veering off, because most of us inside of direct sales and inside of network marketing, we have shiny ball syndrome, squirrel syndrome. It was like, oh, shiny thing, run after it. What is it? Next. I know that because I have it. So I decided finally that I was going to focus on one thing in one way until I got to $10,000 a month. Now, once you hit $10,000 a month, and you learn the business cycle of how everything runs, now you can take what you learned there and you can apply it to something else and do it again, as long as you've learned the art of replacing yourself. And so let me get to exactly what I'm talking about. There's two mindsets inside of building a business and getting started. When you get started, there's two mindsets that I see before you get started that people come up with how they're going to build. One mindset is, I'm going to sell product. Now, do we sell product inside of the direct sales industry? Yes. Yes, we sell product. Anybody who's like, we don't sell anything, we just share. Grant Cardone said it best. He's like, if you're telling me you don't sell, what you're telling me is you hate revenue, and you hate profit, and you hate commission, and you hate staying in business. Because sales is what keeps a business in business. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you look at most big companies, about 20% of the people inside a company are there to make the company more money, right? 20% are there to make the company more money. They're the ones that go out and create new business, that contact new people, that present to new people, that bring new business in the door, and make sure the people who have come in the door before reorder or order bigger once they get it going. So that's 20%. 80% of the world, and 80% of big companies are there to manage what came in the door and make sure that it gets to where it's supposed to go. And the accounting department and D&R, and our R&D, research and development and all that, and making sure the advertising, packaging, and everything else goes the right way. But 20%. So one group of people is thinking, well, I'm just supposed to sell the product. So what they do is they put on their salesman hat, and I'm just going to use this. This isn't a network marketing product, but it's something I bought inside of I bought it on Amazon. It's a health supplement, and I bought this on, and they think I'm supposed to go out and sell bottles of this. That's one mentality. Now, another mentality inside of network marketing is, I'm going to recruit a team of people who consume this. It's kind of a slight difference. You know, some people have kind of argued, well, you're saying the same thing. No, because the first person is like, I'm going to sell this to somebody, and then I may never talk to that person again, and then I'm going to go find somebody else to sell another bottle to, and then I'm going to find somebody else to sell another bottle to, rather than I'm going to get Beth involved in my network, and Beth and I are both going to order this again and again and again and again and again, and 10 years from now we're still ordering products from this company. So one person is thinking sales, the other person is let's build a network. Now I'm going to give you what I did. When I looked at the numbers, because I'm a numbers person, when I looked at the numbers inside of most direct sales companies, the margins are small. The margins are small. The product, I mean, most products inside of the network marketing industry are $30, $40, $50 and down. Most of the commissions on that product line are somewhere between 3% and maybe if you're really good, you know, with the added everything that they say, maybe 20, 30%. That's usual. 5% to maybe 30%. Well, if it's a $20 product and you're making 5%, that's $1. You got to sell a lot of bottles, which means you got to have a massive list to sell to. But if I decide to build a network of people and I tell Bess, and Bess tells Rich, and Rich tells Becky, and Becky tells Lisa, and Lisa tells, you know, on and on and on, then I can build a network across the country and in some cases across the world of people consuming this. That was my objective when I looked at the people who were making huge money inside the industry. That's what this program, these 10 core are built for. I just want you to know. Now, what I also want to say is it's 80% my focus, my first thing is I'm going out to recruit, and as a result of the way that I recruit, I get customers. And it's so funny because, you know, when I build, I'll usually have the people above me, my upline, my team support, will call and be like, you just signed up a customer. I'm like, yeah. They're like, but you usually don't sign up customers. I'm like, well, I mean, it happens. It's just not my focus. Yeah, but you've recruited like 4 million people, and you have like 4 or 5 customers. I'm like, yeah, but I get customers. Customers come to me as a result of my recruiting process. And here's the thing. I always get customers, and in the end, I end up with tons of customers. Here's why. Because I might recruit somebody who comes on board with the idea that they're going to build and then just ends up loving the product. And they're like, you know what? I just love the product, and I love hanging out, so I'm just going to keep in so I can buy wholesale from you. And all of a sudden, I have this huge wholesale network, and people are like, well, how are you going to make any money on a wholesale network? Well, the wholesale club, Sam's Club, does pretty well. Costco does pretty well. Did you know Costco does like almost $3 billion a year, and $1.5 billion of the money that comes in from revenue is just in the card itself of the people buying it? That's $60 a month, in some cases $100 a month. That is about 50% of the revenue. Just the network itself. If nobody goes in and buys from Costco. Now, here's the thing. You go into Costco, you end up buying way too much stuff. Believe me, I have stuff I haven't even opened. Still here. So that's just reality. So let's get to building, because you guys are here. I just wanted to explain to you the philosophy behind what we're doing. The philosophy is I'm a recruiter, and I'm going to teach you how to build a team of people. If you want to build a team of people, these are the things you need to know. There's 3 mentalities for the people who come in. Some people are posers, some people are amateurs, and some people say, I want to be a professional. The posers they kind of treat this like a lottery ticket, a scratch-off lottery ticket. They got 6 faces that, you know, they're going to go touch. Lisa says you can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Rich, can you hear me? Rich says, everybody else says it's good. I don't know, maybe you hit mute. Check that. Lisa's going to jump off and jump back on. Sometimes it's the connection. So the posers, the loser mentality, scratch off. They think what they do is they go pitch the deal to 6 people. Hey, here's the deal. I'm pitching you my product, and the way in which most people go about pitching it is, hey, I just spent a bunch of money to get in. This is what I hear new people, because new people will call me and they're like, oh my gosh, Jeff, I just saw this brand new company. It hasn't even launched yet. They're brand new. They haven't even thought of launching. They don't even have a bank account yet. They just have this great idea, and I bought in for whatever the price is. They always tell me, and I bought in for this, and they're telling me that the first 200 people, the first 100 people, the first 1,000 people, if you get in right now, you can be like a Founders Reserve Diamond Jelly Club donut person. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, what do you guys do? Well, we don't even have a product yet. It's going to be fantastic. Well, how does the comp plan work? Well, I'm not really sure, but I mean, the people at the top, the first people, they're going to get rich for sure. Okay, send me a PDF. Do you know how the comp plan works? Do you have any who's behind it? How much money do they have they don't know any of the details. They got excited from their friend because they're going to be first and they get in. So that's the majority of the people who pitch me. Does that sound like something that's going to be around long term? Not really. So I'm like, maybe not. So that the poser mentality, I can tell they're just trying to pitch. Or I get this one. Hey, I'm calling you because I know you can build, and I know you build, and if you get in, if I got you, I wouldn't have to do anything. Okay, so your objective is to not do anything. So you want me to get in so I can do all the work so you can get rich? Is that what you're trying to say? No. Well, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you think this works. Well, yeah, that's how it works, right? I mean, you just have to sponsor. They just told me I just needed 2 people, one on each side, and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, well, that may be how the comp plan is laid out to you to sell you to get in, but I guarantee there's other qualifications that you're probably missing, that you're going to get cut off real quick, and you're going to make your $300, and then you're going to be stuck because you bought in with the idea that you don't have to do a lot of work. That's the poser mentality of it's a lottery ticket, I'm going to get rich, I just hope I hit the first 5 people and they get in. The second is the amateurs. They search for, there has to be one way to do this. There has to be, these are the people that always search for the internet way to do it. Well, I don't want to really talk to anybody, and I don't want to have to work, and I don't want to have to do this, and I don't want to have to do that. All I want to do is I want to set up a funnel. I heard that there's this funnel thing that you can do, rapid funnels, click funnels. I mean, there's 1,000 different versions of it. There's just one funnel, and if I just send that link out to enough people, everybody signs up. Well, if that was the case, wouldn't it already be over? Like, you would have missed it by now. You know, that's probably not the way it's going to work either. The last is the professional people. The industry does about $200 billion in sales. There's approximately 200 people on a list that earn in the network marketing world that earn over 6 figures a month. There's about 200 people, and from the numbers that I have, there's approximately 5,000 people that earn over $20,000 a month in our industry through the Direct Sales Association. Now, there's other companies and stuff like that, but that's just, in general, what's out there. So there are a lot of professionals. What that meant to me is there's a whole lot of people who never get going, never get started. And if you don't know this, there's 3 reasons why people get in the business. There's 3 reasons why people sign up. So if you're going to get started right, and you want to get started right, you want to know these 3 things. What are the 3 reasons why people sign up? Well, this is industry statistics. This doesn't come from me. It comes from the Direct Sales Association. 1/3 of people get in and get started. It's just slightly over 1/3. It's like 33%. 33% of people get in the business. Now, this is funny. They sign up as reps, as distributors. Why do you think? People say, money. I'm like, well, no. People are like, because time freedom. Freedom. They want freedom. That's the patented network marketing answer to why are you building. I want freedom. I was like, well, what is freedom to you? I just want free. I want to be free. Well, what are you going to do when you're free? How much money does it take to be free? How much money do you have to have coming in every month? I don't know. Well, how are you going to get free then? I know that's the patented answer. Free. Actually, 33% of people sign up for a discount on the product. That's why people get in. Instead of buying at retail, they'd rather buy at wholesale. Doesn't that sound like Sam's Club to you? Or doesn't that sound like Costco, if there's a Costco where you're from? That's a discount shopping network. Here's the product. The product retail is $50. And if you get in, and I'm holding up a product that is not a network marketing product for those. I'm not trying to pitch a product, but I'm just saying I've seen a lot of cases where the product's $50 retail, but if you get in as a rep, you can buy it for $32. So people are like, well, if I ordered it every month, it's a math thing, right? I mean, that's what people do. They're like, well, if I order it for 3 months and I'm saving about $20 a month and it costs $50 to get in, that if I order this 3 times, it just makes sense. And I close like that all the time in certain businesses. I would just do the math for them. I was like, here's the product. Do you like it? Oh, yeah, I love the product. Do you think you'd order it for more than 3 months? Yeah, absolutely. Well, you could either get in as a rep and order it wholesale now, or you could wait 3 months, spend $60 instead of $50. What would you rather do? And I can't tell you the number of people that were like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would save the money. I'd just be a rep. Now, you don't have to. Here's the thing. I don't care if you talk to anybody. I don't care if you want to network, if you want to come to a meeting. Now, I will offer you that. But, I mean, if you just want to be a rep just to get the product, here's the thing. Did you know that about 90% of multimillionaires' money that comes from the industry are wholesale reps? They've never recruited a person. They have no intention of recruiting anybody. They don't want to recruit anybody. They're just somebody who consumes, and they consume at wholesale rather than retail. To them, it's like a buying club. Now, not all network marketing companies are built like that, but I will tell you the majority of them are. So you have to look at your company, your comp plan, what it takes to actually get in. And sometimes there's a distributor price, and then there's a builder pack, right? So we're not talking about the builder packs yet. We're just talking about 33% of people sign up for that reason. The next 30% sign up for this reason. They just want a plan B. Just put down plan B. They have no intention of building right now. They have no intention of making money right now. It's just if. Now, if you have been at a company where you've seen the company downsize and 50% of the staff leaves and you happen to make the cut, you're like, because when they start cutting, people go, I mean, you lose your mind when you think you're going to lose your income, because your income relates to how much stuff, where you live, where you eat, how you get to work, gas, food, college, textbooks, after-school events, entertainment, dog food, cat food. I mean, everything is at risk when the income's gone, right? And people are like, yeah, but money's not everything. I'm like, well, unless you're rich, it probably is to you. I mean, I know that's harsh, but it's true. You know, what I found is money means the most usually to the brokest person, with the most responsibilities. Let's put it that way. The brokest person may be a person who has nothing that, maybe outside. And if they get $10, they're like, ooh, I had nothing. I have nothing to be responsible for, so $10 is $1 million to that person. But if you have responsibilities, the broker you are, the more focused on money you are. I mean, have you ever met these people? You might have some of them in your family. You might live with some of them, where everything is concerned about, well, you can't buy the Chef Boyardee, don't buy the brand name one, buy the non-brand one, because we'll save 30 cents, and 30 cents could add up over time. That's their plan on getting rich. They're going to save them. Have you ever met anybody who saved themselves rich? I haven't met anybody. Rich people talk about that a lot, broke people talk about that a lot, and I meet the rich ones, and I always ask, I'm like, did you save yourself rich? They're like, no. I invested money, and I built a company, and I built, I had an idea of how much money but I didn't save myself there. Now, a lot of them are frugal. There's a difference between being frugal and business smart and saving money, but saving 30 cents on name brand versus non-brand, you're not going to make it. That's not the way to make it, unless you own the store that sells that. Then it's a little bit different. So we talked about the first, which is most people get in for the discount. The second, which is a plan B. Here's the third. The third group of people want to build something. They're like, I want to make money. The reason I'm getting in is to try this. Remember, most people are getting in to try it. They're not getting in to do it. They're getting in to try it. Right? It's like signing up for softball, or signing up for piano lessons, or signing up for guitar lessons, or signing up for wiffle ball, or signing up for a number of other things. People sign up all the time. Signing up for the gym. I have an intention of losing weight. I have an intention of getting in shape. I have an intention of losing inches. But now we're going to see how difficult this is. And some of it has to do with, is there a clear-cut plan, or am I going to wing it? Right? So that's the main reasons why people sign up. So I'm going to show you how to tie these 3 reasons into your presentation and then into the close. I had been doing it for a long time, and I didn't even realize that I was actually using these 3 things in my presentation. And until somebody spelled them out, I was like, wow, all 3 of those have been hidden in my presentations the whole time, but I didn't realize it. Because the way that I open as I start out is I say, look, most people don't want to quit their job. Most people presenting always talk about, oh, there's all these people quitting their job. Do you know how scary it is to most people when you start talking about leaving their income? People think you're bananas. Now, they may hate their job more than anything, but here's what they hate more: the fear of not having a job. You ever think about that? So we're all over here in network marketing, we're like, woo, that person quit their job, and everybody else is like, idiot. I don't care how much money they have. They can have a lot of money now, but what happens if the company changes? What happens if the economy changes? What happens if this? They don't have any security. Because we've been taught, understand, 99% of us have been taught what? That is security. So when we're over here using network marketing language and cheering people on, and it's so great that they've left, and we're in a conversation with people and we're telling them that they've left their careers, especially when they're like, oh man, this doctor walked away, oh this, I'm intrigued, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, they're nuts to the outside world. So you have to understand what you're pitching and what they're seeing. So I always talked about, when I pitched the opportunity, I said, hey, do me a favor, I want to show you what we're doing, so in case you run into people, this is how it works, this is what we do. The great thing about what we do is you can do it when you want to. You can keep your job, you can keep your benefits, you can keep your, I'm not talking about switching jobs, I'm not talking about leaving your job. What happens if you make what you make, but you get to keep your job? How would it be different? How would you go to work if you were able to make the exact same amount of money outside your job than inside your job? And a lot of people are like, oh, I'd tell my boss I'd quit. But then you'd only have one income. Imagine how different it would be. I mean, imagine going to ask for a week off. You want a week off for vacation, and you make as much, if not more, outside your job as inside your job. You're like, well, I just want to let you know that I make, exactly, my last week's check was from this job was this, but from my outside business, I actually make more. So I have the ability not to come in at all, or you can give me that week off and go figure it out. I mean, the control you have at that point, so many people want that control of being able to go back in and not being micromanaged, not being dominated, not being pushed around, not being politicized inside of a job, because you don't have to take any of that anymore. You know what? Now that I have this kind of money, I could go find a job somewhere else where this wouldn't be a problem, or you can fix it, figure it out. That would be ultimate security, right? So that's how I describe it to people, and people are like, wow, that'd be so cool to have a plan B. Now, here's what the product is, and I know the numbers, so when I'm pitching people, I'm like, here's the product we sell, here's what it is retail, here's what you could make if you sold it retail. But you could also get in as a wholesale club member. Now, what I've seen is there's 3 types of people. There's people who want to buy retail, there's people who want to become kind of like a preferred customer, and here's the thing, if you want to become a preferred customer, I'll be real honest, you should sign up. Not to do the business. I'm not going to harass you. Corporate's not. Nobody's going to show up at your doorstep and make you do this. But I would get in because financially, here's the math. This costs $50, so 3 months is $150. Or if you become a wholesale rep, it's $30. So 30 and 30 is 60. That's 90. That leaves $60. It costs $50 to become a rep. So what makes more sense? Do you want to pay retail? If you decide to get anything else or order more, or a friend wants some, I'm not saying you want to build, but you could get in as a rep. Then we also have people who want to build. So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself just kind of as help me out one-time thing? Do you see yourself kind of as a preferred customer, more like a wholesale club member? We'll just sign you up and I'll write in the notes, hey, you're a wholesale member, I'm not going to harass you. Or the third way is you're in to actually make money. Where are you at? So I just use, 2 of the 3 reasons why people get in. Number 1 is a plan B. Number 2 is the wholesale. And number 3 is for the people who want to make money, I want to show you what we're going to do. Now, if that's something you want to do, I have a plan to show you how to do this in a way that's not salesy, when we're not going to come and try to close everybody. We're just going to present the information. And I'll help. That's how I always closed. Does this make sense? Does it make it easy? So getting back to these steps, because I went off just to kind of give you some thought process, some mindset, some stuff that I went through to get to that point. So I'm going to jump ahead here, and I'm going to go right to what you want to know. Define your dream. Find out exactly what you want. What are you trying to accomplish here? A lot of people have this stuff that they want out here, but what they don't have is a plan to basically make the first step in the journey. What is the first step in the journey? The first step in the journey, if you're at ground zero, is basically to build a list, contact enough people to recruit a few people to get paid and promoted at your first level. Now, if you've already hit the first level, it's to get paid and promoted at the second level. If you've already hit the second level, it's to get paid and promoted at the third level. What has to happen to get to the next level for you? What has to happen? Now, most of us on here, from what I understand and the conversations I've had and what I've had with Bess, is most of us on here are, quote unquote, a lot of newbies. A lot of newbies. We might have hit the first position, but we probably haven't hit the second position. I know there's a couple people on here who have done really well. I mean, they've got checks coming in weekly, checks coming in monthly. A couple people are, you know, what I would call that beginner mid-level, and then we even have some mid-level people. There's a different starting point for all of us. Now, what I'm talking about right now is where you need to start at. Then we're going to talk about getting our people started. Where do you need to start at? You have to, first of all, define what you want out of this. But what I would do more important than the far out stuff is, what do you need to do to get to the next level? Do you know exactly how many people you need? Because what I did is I started calculating this out for people. You know, when somebody's like, well, I need to get to the 1,000 level. Because, you know, some of us, we do it in pins, some of us do it in numbers. There's different structures to some of this. I said, what do you need to have to get to that first level? Well, I need to do this much volume, and I need to have this many recruits, and I need to have this. Normally, there's a set group of things. There's a set group of things you need to do. Then there's a set group of stuff that your people need to do. I said, okay, give me the whole list. You need the whole list. Here's what you need to do. The first question is, are you doing whatever you're going to go ask somebody else to do? That's a rough one. That's a rough one, right? If there's an auto ship, if there's product that you should be on to average, let's say I'm just going to use, you know, $200 worth a month because that's about the average in the industry. You have to order about $200 worth a month to hit this many points, and all the companies are different, but I'm giving you like numbers that I hear a lot. You got to do this to hit this, and then we got to have, to hit the first level, you have to recruit at least 3 people total. And I'm not giving any specific company, I'm just saying in general, you have to recruit 3 people total, and you have to create 600 in volume. So if you're doing 100 in volume, or 100 points, and you've got 3 people that you've recruited that each do 100 points, what is that? That's 400 points. That means if you need to hit 600 points, you need 2 more people, right? They're like, yeah. I said, so really, you don't need to recruit 3, you need to recruit 5, and you need to be the 6th person in that example. And they're like, I never thought of it like that. I was like, that's the math. They're like, I was like, well, how are you going to do it? Well, I was going to see if I could sell Bob a bottle, and I've got another guy a bottle. I'm like, yeah, but the bottle itself is only worth 50. So 50 divided by 600 is how many people? It's a whole lot more people, right? They're like, oh, yeah, I guess. So that'd be a whole lot more work. Then if you did sell 25 people, you got to sell them all in the same month to hit that goal. Oh, I never thought of that. Then you got to chase them for the reorder. Wouldn't you rather have people who joined your team, who have their own number, who are trying to get to their own space, so then you don't have to chase them to reorder because they've spent some money and they have something on the line to level up? Oh, I guess that makes more sense. That's less work. So again, mentality-wise, are we trying to build a network, or are we trying to sell? And this is a conversation I have with a lot of people, and, you know, when they finally get it and they're like, oh, we're here to recruit, we're here to build a team, and they start doing the things to build a team, they can take off so much easier. So number one, define your dream. Number two, set your goals. Your goal is the specific number you need. What is the specific number you need? If you don't know the specific number you need to get to the next level, how are you going to get started? And more importantly, how are you going to start anybody else? So people are like, I'm having such a hard time getting people in. I'm like, how do you get to the first level? They're like, I have no idea. I said, so basically what you're doing is you're telling people to take a trip with you, but you don't know where you're going. Do you think they can see that? They're like, I never thought of that. But doesn't it make sense? Like, would you want to follow somebody that has no idea where they're going? They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You should get in the car, and we should just drive around in circles. Okay, where are we going? I don't know. Well, how long are we going to be gone? I don't know. Well, what do I need to bring? I don't know. I'm not getting in the car with that person. That sounds crazy. But if you knew exactly what you were trying to accomplish, then when you're out presenting, you say, look, here's the company, here's the product, here's the conversation, here's the people, here's the timing, and I'm new. I'm just getting this thing rolling. Here's exactly the structure that I'm building, and here's what I need to fill in the blanks. And what I would love to do is I would love to offer you this position here, because as I build the structure, if it's a binary or a unilevel, depending on how your company is, I'm looking to line up my first 3, 4, 5 people straight across, so that way I can build the organization underneath those people. I would love to put you in a position where all the work I do from now on goes through you. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. And here's, when you say that, people are like, well, how much does that cost? That's a buying question, right? They're not saying sell me. They're like, okay, that sounds good, but how much does that cost? Now you have a conversation that's going in the right direction. But if you have no idea what you're doing, you end like this. Doesn't that sound great? Well, I mean, does what sound great? Does the company sound great? Does the product sound great? Does this sound great? I'm just so excited about it. This product, you know, the other day, you know, somebody grew their ear back, and another guy, his pool water got clear, and another person's electric bill went down. And I mean, sometimes we overdo what the products will do, trying to sell the product rather than sell the plan, sell the program. Get people into our network. Guys, what I want to do is I want to build a network of people who basically order this. If we get enough of them, here's what the numbers look like. I know most people aren't going to want to have a home meeting. I know most people aren't going to want to drive across the country. I know most people aren't going to want to get on a training. I'm just looking for a few people who want to do that. But I want to put in 100 people, so that way I find 5 good ones who will come onto a meeting like this and actually build with me. Because I'm willing, here's the thing I will tell you, I'm willing to go out and recruit all 100 people myself. When I realized I needed 100 people to get to the next level, I just had in my head, even if it takes me doing all the work, I will go out and find them. And the minute I said that, I'm willing to do all the work, it was amazing how people were attracted to me. I wasn't counting on you. I wasn't counting on you to do anything. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to build a network. If there needs to be 1,000 people on the team and I have to show 10 people for every person that joins, which means I have to show 10,000 presentations to put all 1,000 people in, I'm willing to do it. And people like, this person is insane. And here's the thing. Most people are going to follow you because you're a little nuts. Nuts with a vision of where you're going, not nuts confused, don't know what you're doing. There's a difference, right? Write your list. You do not need a list of 4,000 people to build a business. What you need a list to start with is the next 10 people you're going to talk to. If you're going to make a run and you're trying to put 50 people in the business, or I'm sorry, 5 people in the business, I would multiply the number you need to get in to hit your next level. I would multiply that times anywhere between 10 to 20, depending on what your skill level is. If your skill level is good and we can have a clear conversation and you know your company, your comp plan, you already have a presentation, multiply by 10. If you're not so good, multiply it by 20. I talked to one guy. I was like, you're going to need to multiply it by 100. You need 3 people. You need 300 people we got to go talk to. Why? Your skill level isn't there yet. And I was joking with him. I said, I'm going to help you do it. My recruiting is about 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. The reason it's 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 is because if I go talk to 10 people, I pre-qualify them first, and I probably will eliminate 5 of them real fast before I even pitch the deal. Because if I find out they're in the middle of moving and a divorce and they just had cancer last week and, you know, they're going in for chemotherapy treatments next week and their child has something going on and their parents have something going on and they're leaving next week on a trip, I'm going to be like, in my mind, this person has so much drama and stuff they're worried about and trying to figure out. A business might not be right for them right now. That's what I'm saying in my head. I'm still going to show it to them. I'll be like, look, I still need the favor. I still want you to know what I do, but I understand you have a lot of stuff going on. Timing might not really be right. Now, I've had some people be in a mess like that, and they're like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. You never know. You never know. So just because somebody says all that doesn't mean you get to wimp out and not talk to them. It just means you have to be understanding and have what we call emotional IQ to understand there's a dynamic there, that there's so much going on. They might be like, you know what? Right now might not be the, no problem. I mean, you told me up front that you had all this stuff going on. I figured as much. I still wanted to let you know what I do. So if you're running around doing this stuff, solving problems, and you happen to run into somebody, you have the ability to refer them to me. At another time, we can talk once you solve some of these situations. Oh, okay. I'm not trying to close you right now. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything. I wanted you to know what I do, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. You have your list. Contact and invite. Again, we go to the favor. Do me a favor. Right? Just do me a favor. I want you to hear out what I'm doing, so if you come across the right person, you can refer them to me. Here's the difference. What most people do is they start presenting and they start selling because they think sell in their head, but they don't really have a goal of what they're trying to hit. When you know what the first level is and what it takes to get paid and promoted, and that's what you're going after, now all of a sudden it becomes, I need 3 people, or I need 2 people, or I need 4 people, or I need 1,000 points. So now there's a different objective going in to actually present. Yes, I still want to get somebody in. Yes, I still want to sign somebody up. But it's different now. Because when you say, hey, do me a favor, I want you to know what I'm doing so you can refer me. Now you can be specific of exactly what you're wanting referred. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build this. I need 3 people at the very top of 3 organizations to hit the level, and I'm looking for these 3 people. I'm going to drive these 3 organizations straight down. If it's a binary you're in and there's only 2 organizations, I'm looking to put 1 person on the right and 1 person on the left, and I'm going to drive through those 2 people. I don't care who those 2 people are. The first 2 people who sign up, they're going to get the benefit of that organization going down. If we happen to hit somebody in Singapore or Japan or Australia or Russia or, you know, Bangladesh or wherever they decide to get in, and it takes off and you happen to be in that position, you might end up in a position where half of your retirement's done. It's sitting there for you. It might be a great plan B for you. I just wanted you to know what I'm doing. I'm not asking you to do it. I want you to know what I'm doing and what I'm going after, so if you ran into that right person, you could refer them to me. It's with an objective. The biggest thing about getting started is, yes, getting moving, but moving with an objective. Where are you going? And then there's different speeds. Okay? There's different speeds. I'm trying to learn the business is different than I need to get it done right now. I'm trying to learn the business is I might show 10, 15 people a month. I might show 5 people one month and 6 people the next because I'm just trying to learn the business. I've got a great income. I don't have to do this. I'm 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. I got time. I got time. I'm not retiring for a while. I'm good. I'm good. Things are good. Everything's cool. I don't have to do this. There's other people that are like, I'm looking at the clock, I want to be done by 55, and I'm 51, and I have 4 years to get this done. 4 years. Okay, well, if your objective is to be done by 55, and you're 51 right now, and you have 4 years to get this done, you need to speed up your I'm trying this to what are you going to do and commit to. Here's the level of making it happen. First of all, you have to know what the first level is you're trying to get to, and then what you need to do is amp the activity. You just have to amp the activity. What is the activity you need to do? Well, you need to present to people, right? Present to more people. That's it. You need to learn how to contact them, how to invite them, how to present, how to follow up, and then what to do. You need to go through that cycle to understand what that cycle is. But it's the same cycle over and over again once you get it. People think it's different. It's the same thing. The business is actually pretty boring once you learn the cycle. It's just different people every day and different situations come up to distract you from doing that cycle. The best people prioritize their time and prioritize their activities so they get the stuff that has to get done, and then all the other crap they work on later. Most of us do this. Most of us don't have that objective, don't have that goal, don't have that time frame. Therefore, we get in, we kind of dilly-dally, piddle-paddle, we'll organize our desk and wipe the mirrors off, and we better vacuum the carpet in case somebody might stop by, right? We have all these different, I'll comb the dog right now in the middle of the day when I should be calling people because that's a distraction. What's the next? Well, the dishes were dirty, so I did the dishes, and then, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a really funny, like, 2-minute cartoon. Actually, I'll put this up, Bess. It's hysterical. It's called, I think it's called Procrastination. It's called Procrastination, and this guy's like, well, he's like, I had this important project to work on, but when I got home, I sat down in my chair to do the project, and my chair was squeaky, and I don't like a squeaky chair, so I went and got oil, and then I oiled the chair, and when I was down there, I realized that the trash was not full, so I took the trash out, and once I took the trash out, I was hungry, but I realized I didn't have any food, so then I went to the grocery store. I mean, it just goes on, and he kind of talks through these different days of procrastination. There's no time frame. There's no real goal. It's just procrastinate to procrastinate to procrastinate. And most of us live our life like that because we do not prioritize what the hell we're doing. But if you did, what could change? Now, we have people who need to get active just to know how it works. Then we have people who need to get going right away and need to get this done in a short time frame. And then we have people who are like, I need to get out of my situation immediately, which is even crazier. So what I found is the level of activity you need to bring to the table is, if you're just trying to figure out how this works, you need to be somewhere between 0 and 15. 0 and 15 presentations a month to individuals. Now here's what I found. The people who do 0 to 15 have activity and they talk to people and stuff happens, but here's what usually doesn't happen. You don't recruit anybody. You don't sponsor anybody. Nobody's getting in. Why? You really don't have a focus. There is no deadline. There's no mission behind what you're doing. You're just kind of casually letting people know what you do. Now, it's not that nobody will ever get in, but nobody's getting in consistently. Nobody's getting in with a mission, a plan to do anything. They're just hearing about it. Your objective and their objective isn't, I have to sign somebody up because I have to get to this level. You don't even know what level it is that you're trying to get to. You don't know the requirements for the first level. You were just got in because you like the product. You're like, hey, I just saw this cool product and it does all this great. Oh my gosh, it's so great. And, you know, it removed the wrinkles from my face and my shirts don't have any wrinkles in them anymore and my face doesn't have any wrinkles and my dog doesn't have any wrinkles. It removed the wrinkles in my car. Again, people sometimes oversell the results because they hear that in the meeting and then they come home and they're like, I know, I love this one. I know we're not supposed to talk about cures, but it cured cancer, it cured diabetes, it cured rain, it cured, you know, storms, tornadoes didn't come anymore, my siding on my house got thicker. I mean, again, I just hear people, it's too much. You don't have to oversell it that much. So watch yourself, you know, check yourself. 3 or 4 good reasons of what it does is cool. Hey, I can show you a cool result of somebody who took this and they were able to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. It's a real picture. It's a real person. I can introduce you to them. I have another friend who was casually wanting to lose weight. They didn't even say they wanted to lose weight. They used it. They lost 10 pounds. Oh, wow. You know, these are real people. That was just their testimonials. And here's the best testimonial. I used it, and here's what it did for me. You know, if you're in skincare, you're like, look, I mean, I started using this. It took the wrinkles. I'm 150 years old right now. I mean, would you believe that? I used to say that in one of our meetings. I was part of a skincare company for a while. I was like, it takes wrinkles and blemishes and this, that, and the other thing. And the lady's like, but does it work? I'm like, ma'am, I'm 85. And she's like, I mean, she just lost it. She's like, you are unbelievable. I said, no. I said, here's how old I am, and, yeah, it works. I said, look at these other people. I'm like, I'm the person who's presenting it to you. Obviously, I like it or I wouldn't be presenting it to you. But look at the people who have used it. And then that's why I think the results, and a lot of the reason why certain industries explode so fast. So if you're in a company that's not exploding like this, it's because it takes a little bit longer to get the results. These companies right now where it's like you could drink this and instantly, that's why the energy drink companies are so good, because they instantly have the result, and people are like, do you feel different? And you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I could run circles around the gas station right now and I could break into a zoo. Well, that's going to have a quicker sale than certain other companies that might take a month, 45 days to have a reaction or a good reaction. Some people sell financial services, and they're talking about retirement, and they're talking about building a 20-year program. It's going to take 20 years to have some results. We can show you some people who have been around for 10 years and show you what it did. So we went, define your dreams, set some goals, write your list, contact, do me a favor, I want to show you what I'm doing, present. Present. Present needs to be about 10 minutes. You need to know this. You need to have who the company is and what they're about. How did they begin? You need to know the need in the marketplace. What is the need of this product? What is the need? If you're in the health and wellness business, 63% of America is overweight. 35% is obese. The 3 greatest killers are heart disease, cancer, and I think it's diabetes or something. I don't remember the top 3, but they're all related to what? Stroke. They're all related to eating horrible, and our product helps with that. Now, we can't say it cures cancer, diabetes, and this, that, and the other thing, but we're just like, we're into nutrition, and we're going to tell you to eat better, and we're going to show you how to do that, and we're going to show you some products that help out, maybe curb the appetite so you're not, if you've ever been on one of those diets that's like water and you're able to lick a cucumber and you're able to sniff some pickles and that's the whole diet, and you're like, I want to eat this notebook in front of me every time you smell food, it helps curb that. Here's the fastest way to get people to like you, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? To know you, you just have to be around them. To like you, the fastest way to get somebody to like you is what? Make them laugh. Smile and eye contact and make them laugh. If you can make them laugh, that's the fastest way. So I would, if you're not that, if comedy isn't part of your life, instead of listening to all this, I would listen to some comedy stuff. And here's the thing, you can type in clean jokes and read clean jokes all the time online and use some of it. If you've been in network marketing any time frame, some of the best speakers you like them because they're funny. You like them because they make you laugh, and if you can make people laugh and feel good, I mean, that's why comedians get paid the money they get paid. That's why entertainers get paid the money they get paid, because if you can change somebody's emotion like that. But how do you do it one-on-one with people is you just make people laugh, I mean, I got into a place where I was so far in debt, I was trying to, one of my friends said, he was like, if you've been out there and you've been trying to make ends meet, he's like, let me give you a 411. He's like, ends aren't supposed to meet, they're ends, they're supposed to be on opposite sides. He's like, you're not supposed to make ends meet, you're supposed to make more money. Quit trying to make your ends meet. You're trying to bend a bar around a touch. It's not supposed to do that. Just make more money. That's your problem. And it's funny, but it's real. Make it have a point. I heard in the business, we're doing a call right now. It's late on the East Coast because we start at 9, we end at 10:30. People are like, oh my gosh, it's so late. I said, well, haven't you heard the nursery rhyme about network marketing? They're like, no. I'm like, Mary had a little lamb and she had some sheep. She signed them up in network marketing. They all died of lack of sleep. That's what happens in this business. People just like fade away because they're always awake. Beth and I talk about this all the time. She's like, I'm like, are you still up? She's like, yeah, I'm still up. I'm looking at this. I'm doing this. I'm on a video. So present. 0 to 15, you're trying. 15 to 30, and now you're in the game. It takes somewhere between 15 to 30 to beat attrition. and consistent. I'm sorry, that's where consistency is. Consistency is 15 to about 30 presentations a month. Guys, that's one every other day. That's one every other day. I mean, could you imagine telling your kids, all you have to do is brush your teeth every other day? I mean, no, it'd be better if you brushed every day after every meal, right? We only have to sleep every other day. You only have to go to school every other day. I mean, it's requiring so little to do it. But again, part of the problem is the sale to get people in is you only have to work 5 hours a week. Well, how does that translate into some of these numbers? It's not true. It's not true. You know, Eric Worre says, if you're building your business and you really want to make money, you're going to invest more than 5 hours. Now, if you were doing 10-minute presentations divided by 5 hours, now you're on track. But most of us do what? We procrastinate and hesitate and meditate and all kinds of other tates to avoid doing what? The work. So if you just get in and focus and be like, I'm going to present to somebody every single day, I just need to practice this. And you can tell them, I mean, I'm running a contest. I just need to practice. I'm working on this. This isn't for you to buy. This isn't for you to sell. I don't care. I just need to get good at this, and I need to get consistent. I got asked the other day, this guy's like, do you guys go to the gym because I see the same guy like several times a week. He's like, do you guys come here every single day? I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow, you guys are consistent. How long have you done that? I said, well, my last card and my last place, because we both belong to the same gym and have transferred because they changed the hours. I said, my last one was 2002, and there was a period of about 6 years I don't ever remember missing because they were open even on holidays, and I was there even on holidays. That's how consistent. And people are like, but that's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, and it's a lot of money too. And there's very few people. Isn't that exactly the quality that you want to follow? Somebody who's that consistent. Then become the person that you want to follow. Follow through. Okay, somebody asked me this the other day, and I'm going to be real honest. If you get good at the first, because you know how everybody's bad at something. If you don't know this, everybody's bad at something in the industry. Everybody. Everybody's bad at something. If you want to know what I'm horrible at, I'm horrible at follow-up. People are like, what's your follow-up plan? I'm like, hey, do you want to do it right now? They're like, no, okay, I'll put your business card over here. Done. I've had people walk up to me and they'll be like, hey, you never called me back. And I'll be like, did you get in? They're like, no. I'm like, that's the reason I didn't call you back. I don't have to, I would end the meeting with, I really, guys, I don't follow up with people. Like, if you ever want to do this, you're going to have to come hunt me down. So this is like, I'm just here today, and if you're expecting me to call you next week and chase you down and this, that, and the thing, I'm looking for self-starters. I'm not looking to corral and, herd people. This isn't a herding business. I'm not looking for cows. That might be harsh, but people got the point real fast. So, like, I never heard from you again. Wonder why. I told you that at the meeting. I do not follow. I'm terrible at following up. Terrible. Terrible. I would rather show 9,150 million plans to find the people I need than sit down and organize a card and I've got to call this person on Tuesday. Like, that's too much work. That's just what I'm bad at. Other people, they're going to be super good at. The fortune is in the presentation to enough people. That's where the fortune is. Yeah, the fortune can be in the follow-up if you call somebody 9 million times. But watch this. If I'm talking to qualified people and I'm pre-qualifying and I'm pitching a new person every single day and I have an ongoing list, this is why I did leads. Some people didn't do leads. I don't like the follow-up process. I don't like it. I don't like chasing people down. I don't like talking to the same person 100 times. I don't like it. So I just didn't do it. I replaced it with talking to more people. Check your progress. Check your progress. And then repeat and teach the 10 course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Bess for some thoughts, and then we'll answer some questions. If you guys have questions, you can type them in at any point. Lisa said, didn't hear me. Did you figure that out? Hello, Joyce from Austin. Arrived late. Hello, hello. I just turned the recording off and turned it back on. So for those of you who are joining us again on the recording, it's in 2 parts this time, which is kind of cool. And let's hit the right button this time.
Okay, I'm unmuted, I think. Maybe.
You are unmuted.
Thank you, Jeff. That was a lot of great information and a lot of good humor, too. I love your stories, and I love all the ways that people will remember the principles. Getting started right, wanted to just fill in a few gaps about that, or fill in a few more thoughts about that. This is a collection that I've been teaching in the MLM Millionaire Club for a while, collected from Eric Worre and other people. But so I put it together in one list. But in addition to what Jeff said, of getting started fast and everything, one maybe basic foundational thing to do when a new recruit signs up is validate your new recruit's decision. Just say, congratulations, you made a wonderful decision, and your life can change right now. Number 2, make an agreement with that person, and that can consist of 3 parts. Number 1, if you succeed, it's going to be you who creates that success, not me. And if you fail, it's going to be you who creates that failure and not me. Help them be independent as soon as possible. Number 2, you can say, my job is to help you become independent for me as soon as possible. Do you agree that's a great idea? Number 3, you can say, there will be ups and downs, and there will be naysayers, and you'll get no's and everything. When there are the lows, how do you want me to handle that? Do you want me to leave you alone, or do you want me to persist to remind you why you made this decision in the first place? Now, I also like to coach network marketers to say, do you want me to coach you? And if so, let's set your why and your goals maybe 6 months out, and figure out how much time you have per week to put into this, how many presentations a week that is reasonable to do in that time for your goals. And also, when we check in with each other, do you want to check in periodically? That would be a coaching agreement. And when we do, we want to celebrate your successes, the presentations that you did do every day, or if you did what you said you were going to do, we're going to certainly celebrate that. And we'll troubleshoot when you don't, without any guilt or anything. And we'll outline your steps for next week, and help to let go of emotional attachment too. So that's what a coach can do, is celebrate successes, troubleshoot the challenges, and then lay out the next week or month or however long before you check in with that person. That would be a form of coaching. That's what I do with coaching clients who are network marketers. So you get that agreement. Do you want me to coach you? And only the serious people will, but if they do not do what they are going to say, they might not earn your coaching time, right? So you have to help them to understand that you just work with the most serious people, because you can't work with everybody. If they want to enter that inner circle with you, they have to earn it by doing what they say they're going to do. So next, you can help them make sure that they're on the product, that they're on auto ship, that they're using it, that they're loving it, and have good results. Next, help them make sure they're connected with all the tools in your company, that they have third-party callers, they got a calendar, they got everything and the tools in the company that they need to get going. Number 3, make sure that they're connected versus website, that they know how to get around in the back end of it, that they know where the events are, the calls are, and the webinars and all that. That was actually, as I'm going through this, number 1 was validate your new distributor decision. Number 2, make that coaching agreement with them. Number 3 is the game plan, where you help them get connected with the product tools and all the things they need to get connected in there. Number 4, the comp plan. Make sure they understand the basic key points and how they get through the first few levels. Help them to record for tax purposes, help them to record their expenses, and coach them that they're going to need to save money for income tax. They don't spend all their income. set aside a certain percentage of it, maybe 30% just in case they need to pay that much for income tax. Okay, number 5 is help them to invite, exactly like Jeff said, using the favor script. Hey, do me a favor, I want to let you know what I'm doing. In case you run across the right person, you can refer them to me. Is this a good time? But teach them that, and then teach them how to do the presentations, the follow-up presentation, like Jeff was mentioning, your 10-minute follow-up presentation. Rather than send them to a video, teach them how to do that. This is all in the Always Get a Yes book, pages 5 to 12, that you get free when you joined up for this class. But teach them how to do their 10-minute presentation that contains 5 things. It should talk about the need, the product, the company, the comp plan, and the timing. And I described how to do that, learning, from notes from Jeff, put into the Always Get a Yes book. So teach them those basics. And then number 6, show them how to advance the first few ranks quickly to get their first customer, first distributor, get to the first company event, get their first commission check. Make friends in the organization, allow them a place on a call or an event to announce their goals, to get to the next rank and be recognized for some of their achievements. So the quicker you can do this, I'll say that whoever does this quickest wins with their group and their team, because they want to have fast results. Remember, most distributors quit within the first 2 months. So if they get real quick reinforcement and fast results, they're more likely to stay and to stay active. So success loves speed, and we want to help get that those firsts for them real quick. Diana Ross today posted on Facebook. She said, most people say, well, do you ever feel like quitting? And she said, no, I never have. I figure once I get my first customer and distributors, I can do it again and do it again and again and again. So that is a huge hurdle. Just help them get their first customer and the first distributor, and then rinse and repeat. All they have to do is do it again. If they did it once, they could do it 100 times, 1,000 times. So show them how to do that, how that can be real quick. Now with that favor script, that's the best and easiest generic way I've ever seen to get going real quick and help your new distributor get going real quick. Does anybody know a better script than that? My gosh, that will make it so easy. Just text, sit down with your new recruit, text 10 friends, and then you hear the dings come back. About when you text 10 people, about half come back right away. The other 5 will come back later, and they'll say, yes, this is a good time, or later, or more, or maybe, or whatever. But you can end up doing a few presentations that day, and out of every 10 that you text, the average is that 1 or 2 become customers or distributors. And that's real cool. How easy is that? No list of 100 names to start. Just, okay, let's just do your first 10. Get your first customer or distributor right there. That is so cool. This is just gold in your pocket, you guys, that favor script and the follow-up 10-minute presentation. Help them to get their 10-minute presentation, by the way. Help them to get their product story within the first 60 days or sooner if it's an instant result product. Help them to get their powerful story, their product story, their business story. Like there's a product story, the before and after. How I was before, no sleep and no energy and, overweight and all this stuff, and now I'm this, this, this. So the greater the difference between the before and after, the more dramatic, the more memorable that story will be, and it will be more fun for them to tell it. So help them. I've helped people to write their stories a lot, and a lot of times they don't realize what they have. So you can help them. Well, how were you before? I forgot. Well, you couldn't get up in the morning. You couldn't even play with your grandkids. What your life was like. You couldn't be comfortable in your clothes. Help them realize that the change that has made, and then the change that it's made in their business. Either they're home to, they're able to be home with their kids now. They're able to have a comfortable retirement, pay off their student loans, or fire their boss, or they're on track to do that. So if they don't have a result already, a story to tell, they can say, I have the security of knowing that I have my plan B working and I'm on track to do it. Or they can tell a story of someone else in their upline who has had dramatic results. You can borrow other people's successes until you have your own. But build these stories into that 10-minute presentation. New recruits crave deadlines and specifics, so tell them exactly what they need to do. Where do they want to go? How much time do they have in a week? And do the math and figure out how many presentations can they do a day, and that's what they need to do. And send out those 10 texts to the favor scripts. Do at least 2 or more, 2 to 5 presentations a day, I recommend. Help them to know exactly how many they need to do to get to their goals in the time that they have per week. Help them also to know their why. You don't have to go too deep in that, but help them to be clear on that right away and refer to that every time you talk to them about getting on a call, getting to a company convention. Refer to their why. I like to say, so you can. Let's all lock arms and get to the company convention, and let's all bring 3 people to the convention so you can fire your boss, so you can be home with your kids, so you can pay off your student loan. There's always a foundational rank in your company. Tell them what that is. We all hit that, and we sign up people. We all get people to that foundational rank. One other tip is you could ask your leaders to write you once a month, write down what they learned in their business the last 30 days, how they grew, and the number of presentations that they've done. The people that are serious and want to grow with you. And Lisa Grossman says you can sort of define those people who are serious. Lisa says when she signs up, Lisa's a multi-million-dollar earner, travels all over the world, good friend of Eric Worre's too, and friend of mine. And she says that she tells new recruits, get them started fast, I will help you grow your business. She says the I will help, that's my part. You grow your business is your part. I will help you grow your business. And she does this step, and she says, before I coach your work real closely with you, do this, and do this. Some basic foundational, how-tos that maybe the company has lined out that she wants them to get the basics before she coaches them. She said, if they fail to do that, she says, let me know when you're ready. I don't want to pressure you or tell you how to run your business. Isn't that lovely? It's up to them. Let me know you're ready. I'll be here for you. Every action that you do with your new recruit, you should ask yourself, will this make them independent or dependent on me? The DSA, Direct Selling Association, reports that 70% of new recruits in direct sales never receive a call from anyone after sign-up. So if you do work with your new recruit and encourage them and coach them like this and get them independent, you will be automatically in the top 30% of network marketers. So help them get 10 customers or help them do 4 home meetings in 30 days. Inspire them with your stories. Tell your stories. But to do that, you've got to go out and prospect and get stories, don't you? You've got to be doing the work yourself. Help them with time management, clock in like a job, treat this like as seriously as they would a job, not a profession, not a hobby, not a try this out, but help the serious ones to clock in like a job. How many hours can you spend a day? Clock in and log that in. 2 hours a day I'm going to spend on my network marketing business, and I'm going to do, text these people and do these presentations and follow up with them. Help them to know that they can time manage me again. Help them to know.
Okay, I'm guessing Bess must have hit a button on her phone as she was talking. So I'm going to let her come back to that here in a second, but I did have a list for you guys real quick. What I realized about building is 3 things: know, like, and trust. Here's the other 3 things that I wanted to give you guys about building. 3 things that you need to come across. You need to come across when you're talking with anybody and when you go out to build your business, when you go out to promote, when you go out to get started. Number 1 is clarity. Clarity. You need to be clear in what you're doing and what you're trying to do. Again, that first level, what does it take? What are the numbers? What needs to be ordered? What needs to be ordered, where it needs to be ordered, how it needs to be ordered. If you don't know that, you need to sit down with somebody in your company and go, how do I get to the first level? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? First of all, check that list off. And then what do I need to do outside of my own responsibilities to get to that next level? Number one is clarity. Number two is confident. You're only going to be confident when you know exactly what to do and you've done it a couple times and you feel you know what you're doing, the direction you're going, and how you're doing. So number one is clarity. Number two is confident. Number three is it has to be concise. Concise meaning short, to the point. Get to what you're talking about. Now, those aren't necessarily three in order. They're just the three things that need to be done. Sometimes, some of you, after talking with you, need to, number one, be concise. Number two, be clear. And a lot of the times the reason we're not concise is because we're unclear. Or we're unconfident, right? Because when you're not confident, what you do is you end up repeating the same thing 600 times. So be clear, be confident, be short and to the point. When you do that and you have that package together, you can get started very quickly. Now, I told you, I kind of hit this from a bunch of different ways. 0 to 15, 15 to 30. When you're really super serious and you want to beat attrition and you want this to go crazy and you want to get people to follow, you want consistent people to get in, you want to set a pace, you will get to the point where you're upset enough where you'll be 30 plus. 30 to about 45 presentations is like you're building. You're consistently building. The people that I know that are professionals that bring on 2 upwards of 10 people every single month consistently. See, you don't have to be good at a lot of this other stuff if you're a great recruiter. So what I try to do is I try to teach people to be great recruiters. If you're a great recruiter, you can mess up almost everything else, but if you can bring in enough people consistently, people are like, you know what, they're doing a lot wrong, but they consistently have a new person here. You know, they're doing a lot wrong. They might not be good at this, this, and this. They might not be good at following up, but they always have new people. They might not be good at telling everybody what to do, but they always have new people. If you always have new people and new people and new people and new people, you'd be bad about a lot of this. You don't have to be great at everything. Now, some people are the opposite. They're super great at team building, and they're terrible recruiters. It takes them forever to get somebody, but when they get somebody, they never leave. So balance, right? Who are you? I teach what I know and what I'm good at, and I find people I can instruct and help to do that. So 0 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 45. 45 plus is where it gets magical. And what I mean by magical is that's where things start happening that you're like, I can't even describe to you how this happened, how it worked, how we exploded, how it jumped across the state and across the country and out of the time zone. And I can't even describe it. I don't know. Here's why you don't know. The faster you move, the less it hurts. The faster you move, the less it hurts, the less rejection, the less people think, well, if I'm getting rejected at 1 or 2, when I get to 40, it'll be great. It's the exact opposite. Because you're moving so fast, you can't even feel or hear or internalize any negativity at all. And here's the other thing. When you're moving that fast, people actually feel the energy and the vibration of somebody who's going really quick, and they won't even challenge it because they're like, you know what, this person's going so fast, they probably are going to pull it off. They probably are going to do it. Wouldn't it be nice to be in that situation? Wouldn't it be nice to get started and move like that? So 0 to 15, I'm figuring it out. 15 to 30, I'm starting to build. I'm serious. I want to track. Here's the thing. Until you get to about 15, I know one thing. You're not serious, and you're not tracking what you're doing. You're not serious, you're not tracking what you're doing. When you cross 15, to get to 15, you will have to start tracking what you're doing. You'll have to start prioritizing what you're doing, and you will have a plan. Any number above that, it just intensifies what you're doing, what you're tracking, and how serious you are. The planning, everything. Because if we told you you had to show, watch this, if I told you you had to show 100 people in your first 90 days, or you were no longer allowed to be in your company, the opportunity would be taken from you because understand that in some businesses, that is how they treat it. I'll give you one for instance. Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual basically signs people up, and Northwestern Mutual is not a network marketing company. I'm using their name on recording here, so I'm only going to say good things about it. That is a month, yes. So I'm only going to say good things about them. But from what I know, when I sat down with them, because they came after me, well, I filled out something online. I wanted to see what their recruiting process was because I was so interested in it, and how they got people started. And when they got people started, you had to sit through this like 3-week class that they really didn't pay you much. In fact, you paid for the books and the courses and everything, just like network marketing. You have to pay to get in. Then you have to pass the test. Then they give you a 90-day trial. During that 90-day trial, to start out with, you have to put 100 names down on a list. I think it's 300, but I know you have to have at least 100. Then what they do is they have a point system. You have to pitch so many people. You have to call so many people. You have to pitch so many people. You have to follow up with so many people. And you have to hit a certain point number. Now, what it turns out to be is you have to basically present about 100 times in 90 days. If you do not do that, guess what happens at the end of your 90 days? You're gone. They get rid of you. It doesn't matter if you had success and signed up your first 3 people. It doesn't matter. They want consistency. What they do is they build the numbers and they say the people who did this in 90 days that keep doing this, we can actually track it. And the people who have been with us for, I want to say it's 10 years, make over $210,000. What they don't tell you is if they go out to recruit and they hire like 36,000 people and only 3,600 people end up coming in, going to the school, and they only actually hire about 300 people nationwide a year, and every year they do that. Well, watch this. Out of the 36,000 that they have come in through the process that start with the school, most of them don't make it. They get 3,600 quote-unquote kids coming out of school. Out of the 3,600, all 3,600 have to input. Here's the other thing about a database. They have to input their 300 names into the computer. What's 300 times 3,600? For those of you who are math people, 3,600 times 300 names. So let's say each person has to put 300 names. 1 million people. That's what they add to their database every year with their process. Now, guess what? Most of those 3,600 don't make it. So guess who all those leads go to? The veterans. The veterans. That's where all those leads go to. That's how these businesses stay in business. I can give you an example of real estate companies. Real estate companies recruit anywhere between 100 to 300 people a year. The average real estate company, each new person lists about 3 houses. It takes on average a certain amount of time to sell those houses, and most of those people don't even stay in to when those houses sell. So those 3 houses go up to the broker, and they usually get kicked off to the top people. Want to know why the top people are always the top people? The system's set up to do that. Just the way it is. So imagine if in your company they said you have 90 days to present to 100 people. If you do not have 100 people presented to in 90 days, your distributorship, your IBO-ship, your business is eliminated. That's what a job version, a career version of network marketing would look like. Now, the ridiculous thing is it's only about 1 person a day. It's not like rocket science. Nobody's asking you to, hire a pack of wolves to, surround people's houses so they can't leave so you can go in. Nobody's talking about kidnapping you. It's just presenting to 1 person a day. But they want you to present to a certain quality of people, just like what we're talking about here. So part of me telling you about getting started is I'm using stuff that I've seen in the professional world and be like, look, if you come in as a professional and do this and you learn the professional way to do it from the start, which is what Eric Worre and Network Marketing Pro consistently talks about, is remove the network marketing stigma from this and do it as a professional, and you'll end up, watch this, with professional results. The reason why most people end up with no results or amateur results is because they're using amateur-like techniques or amateur-like skills to go in, or amateur-like language to go in to have a conversation with somebody. And network marketing, there usually is there's no real licensing in most of these companies. There's no licensing. You don't have to sit through some big long class and take a test at the end. And if you don't even pass the test, you can't even go pitch your product. I mean, imagine if that was the case. You get in and you got to go through some 2, 3, 5-week class. In some companies, I was with a company for a while where you had to do that. There were certain states I couldn't sell into unless I went to that state, took that test, paid, and in some states I had to physically live there. I couldn't even do business in that state. So they kind of were like a hybrid version of network marketing insurance. There are certain companies out there like that. That's all I'm saying, where that's the case. So just relate it to that, and then how do you build yours? Find somebody who knows what they're doing, how to get to the first position. You know exactly what you're doing, how to get to the first position. And then use this 15, 30, 0, 15, 30, 45, crazy. Here's the thing. 45 and above, you're probably only going to be able to do at about a 90 to 100, maybe 6-month sprint. And then you're going to need to draw it back a little bit and basically help organize the people that are there. Does that make sense? And make sure that they're getting to the right place. You don't have to be a great trainer. That's another thing people mistakenly think. If you bring them in, you don't have to be a great trainer. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to teach them everything. You don't have to coach people. You just have to be good at getting people to what? To the event that coaches people, to the training that coaches people. If your company doesn't have that, you can send them to what we're doing, right? You say, hey, look, this may be something, or you can figure it out on your own, whatever you want to do. Now, what I did with new people to get a new person started, Bess went over most of it, and her list was phenomenal. A list of 10 people. I want to help present to 10 people. I want to help get you your first person. 3 things. Hey, great. Congratulations. I love what she said. Congratulate somebody for getting started. Hey, I'm so happy you joined the team, that you have this position. I want to help you create a list of 10 people. I want to help you present to 10 people, and I want to help you get your first person. Because once you do that, their belief level skyrockets, right? Because they're at the height of excitement, the height of ignorance, and the height of fear when they first get in. If you can recruit somebody for them, all of a sudden their trust and belief goes up, and now they'll come to the event. People like, oh, well, I've had a problem getting my people to do this and getting my people to do that. How's the nicest way to say this? Typically, you're not able to get your people to do anything until you have enough of them. It's just the way that it works. It's the weirdest thing. You recruit one, hardest thing in the world is to get that person to do it. Recruit 2, it becomes sort of easier. Recruit 5, now all of a sudden one of the 5 will come out without you even telling them. It's really weird. It was really weird the first time that happened. All of a sudden this guy comes out, he shows up, and I was like, how'd you know about the meeting? He was like, I got the email. I'm like, I didn't call you. He's like, I know, but it's my business, right? I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I've never seen that before. That's so cool. I'm like, what's your name again? I was the one who recruited him. I forgot. Get 10 in. Watch how fast it happens. All of a sudden, you'll get 2 or 3 that will come out. It doesn't mean they're going to stay forever, but they'll at least come out. Get 20, 25. All of a sudden, you start filling a row. That's building the business smart. Be a great recruiter and find somebody who's great team builder, or find the system of where you're going to plug them into. And it's just about dropping more people into that system. As many people should drop in. Here's the thing. Most people don't stick. You just have to remember that. Most people don't stick. Just like most people who join the gym don't work out. Most people who join a weight loss program don't continue to lose weight. Most people who join piano lessons don't become great pianists. Most people who join guitar lessons don't become great guitarists. Most people who join karate do not become ninjas. It just doesn't happen. So why would you expect it in your company? Your company, not the network marketing company, but your personal company. Your objective is bring in as many people as possible. My last thing that I'll ask before we close out here, because I'm guessing Bess's phone might have died, because I know she was doing Facebook Lives earlier, and I know the phone that she has, and I know the battery life of it, and if you do a lot of lives, you're going to run through stuff really quick. Bess, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Boom. Okay. I was guessing your battery died or you hit the wrong button. I don't know which.
I've been back for a few minutes. But you know what? It ended exactly when I was done with what I had.
Well, that's perfect.
I know. So y'all didn't miss anything.
Well, guys, I know we went a couple minutes late. Is there anything else anybody has, any questions you have that you want to type in? I'll go ahead and unmute. Bess, is there anything else you want to add before I unmute?
Yes. Leadership University. Like to you guys to think about preparing for that. We have about a list of 20 or 30 of you that want to be on that. Please, if you haven't already, let me know about that, and I'll add you to the list. To prepare for that, you may want to order now the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell, because that's the first book we're going to start with the first Wednesday in October. So that's just a week or two away. So you may want to get that book. If you're going to order the other two to go with that 3-month course where we do 1 book a month, we're going to start with that one. The other 2 books are Becoming a Person of Influence, and the 3rd book is Everyone Communicates But Few Connect. So I just ordered. Look in the MLM Millionaire Club Facebook group, and I list all the books there. There's a big old picture of 15 book, and if you open that up and read the whole thing, it has all the books that you can order for the whole year if you plan to be joining us for the full-time course is starting in January. So I ordered all the books right away on Amazon, and they're starting to arrive in the mail, and it's real exciting right now. So, but if you just want to get the first one ready, it's the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and you'll see the other books on that post. So we're real excited to begin this. We're all going to take leaps up, I know, in our leadership. Wherever you are now in your leadership ability, you're gonna leap up to the next level. So it's geared to help you take one step up from where you are, and then again and again and again. Why? Because everything rests on leadership. John Maxwell says everything comes back to that, and so does your success network marketing. Eric Worre says we get customers, we get distributors to. We sell product or service, and then we train people to do that, and then we lead. Those 3 jobs, really. So this is about that. This class you're in now is about the first 2. You're getting customers and distributors. Jeff, do you want to talk about the October event in Indianapolis at this point, or anything else?
Yeah, guys, we're going to do an event, Breakthrough, the Team Building Summit, actually in Indianapolis. It's our first live event we're doing where we're going to bring some of this information together. We're actually going through 10 topics, the programming, the philosophy, the identity, the thinking, the attitude, the actions. The actions lead into, your habits. The habits lead into your results. The results lead into your lifestyle, and the lifestyle leads into your legacy. We're going to hit all of those different things. We actually have, there's 5 speakers total. That we're going to go through. It's going to start on Friday, October 19th at 5 p.m. It'll run till about 10, and then the next day it'll be an all-day, and then part on Sunday before we head out. But it's specifically geared towards teaching people what they need to know to team build, to do this profession. I've got friends from the insurance business, from the real estate business, from these different industries that we've invited out that are actually joining with us. It's going to be a small event, about 40 people, so it'll be kind of cozy where we can ask questions and learn, but the idea is to mastermind together and learn. So it's the first of several events that we have planned out, just the first one this year, so we're really excited about it. With that, if there's nothing else, Bess, I'd like to just open up the line, so if anybody has any questions, they can get those in. I know we've got a couple minutes over, so we appreciate you guys staying online. If you have any comments, or any feedback for us, if there's anything that we need to change or upgrade, let's do that one-on-one. So we'll try to keep it positive. If you just want to yell at people, we'll save that for another time too. Hold on one second. Unmute. Okay. Anybody have anything? Somebody's listening to something good in the background. It sounds cool. Television?
Questions or comments?
Or just feedback. What did you guys get that you liked?
Well, you know what? Can you hear me?
Something's going on. You had to turn that up, Rich. Hold on one second. Now maybe try it.
A minute ago I shouted, "Oh, it's Sunday night football." I'll just leave it at that. But you know, I really just wanted to comment. I really like this platform, this free conference call. I did join it. I got to learn to set it up, learn how to use it. Because you know, I like the, you know, I always say that this type of live conversation is a, you know, is a great way to use technology that really kind of makes that connection that you can't get unless you're there physically. And it's you know, it's better than video, you know, recorded stuff. So I really appreciate you guys coming out and putting yourself out here and spending this time. I think you're doing a really great thing. You know, I definitely like how you're putting it together. Pretty powerful, really. So I thank you both.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold on one second. Okay, guys. Anyone else? Going once?
Well, thank everybody. Next time we go over the Be Here a Year from Now, we'll go over core number 2.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. I appreciate everybody for being on. Have a great start to your week. Thanks for being here. And if you have any questions, like always, just instant message us or dial us directly. Have a good one.